Educational Quality Assurance Council, Umalusi, has given the all-clear for the 2019 matric exams. But one of the concerns for matric readiness is a shortage of Afrikaans exam markers in Limpopo. The first exam paper is scheduled to be written on the 28th of October and the last on the 28th of November. Dr. Mafu Rakometsi, who's the CEO of Umalusi, joins me in studio now. Thanks so much for your time on SABC News. So it's all systems go, but there seems to be this concern around markers.
There is a concern for markers. We have a shortage of markers that have applied to mark for the high enrollment subjects. That will differ from one province to the other, from one subject to the other. The different provincial education departments are going to look at creative ways of dealing with that. They could make a fresh call for more markers to apply and still apply a rigorous process of recruitment, because we don't want people who don't qualify to mark these papers. The other problem that we have with the shortage of markers is with the people who have to mark the Afrikaans version of the content subjects, where Afrikaans is a medium of instruction. We'd want learners to be treated fairly, that they be marked by the teachers who understand the subject in Afrikaans. So the problem is more prevalent in Limpopo, and what would happen there is that a fresh call can also be made there, that more Afrikaans-speaking markers, apply. If the department is not able to resolve that, they could come up with other creative ways of dealing with the problem, or they can even go to the extent of asking the sister provinces to assist with the marking of these papers.
Okay. One of the concerns is for the integrity and the safety of the actual papers, to make sure that learners don't have access to them beforehand. What measures are in place that you can discuss with us to make sure that this doesn't happen?
What we have looked at is that the security system in the different storage centers throughout the country are up to scratch. There is an arrangement that we call double locking system, where the key to where the papers are not held by one person. For me to access the room, I would have to be with the other colleague who also has his own key, so that on my own I'll not be able to access the paper. Further on, we have trained people to make sure that they understand how important it is for the papers not to leak, because we cannot afford to compromise examinations in this country.
Mm-hmm. Let's stay on the issue of cheating. Matric students in a lot of provinces have signed pledges to say that they are not going to cheat, and there's also been quite a focus on invigilators, if I'm correct.
There is a pledge that has been signed by the candidates themselves, which is a good thing, because we have to conscientize them to say it is very important for them to be people of integrity as students already, because they are going to be our leaders tomorrow, and we want leaders of integrity to lead this country tomorrow. The invigilators are also trained, and in their training, the importance of being vigilant in invigilating these papers is emphasized. They are taken through the processes that they have to follow according to policy from A to Z, so that we ensure that whoever is involved in the examination process is well trained to deal with this important job.
Mm-hmm. One of the possible challenges that you flagged as Umalusi is service delivery protests in making sure that students write properly. How much of a factor might this be?
This can be a serious matter with far-reaching implications. You can imagine, as a student, when you have prepared adequately to write examinations and you are disturbed, it can be traumatic. We are saying, let us respect the education of our children as members of the community and ensure that our learners write the examinations incident-free in a relaxed environment where they're able to think and answer the questions adequately. So we are appealing that there should be no disturbances during this time, which is very important in the lives of our children.
Mm-hmm. We know that there's almost 800,000 learners who are writing both full-time and part-time ones, and this is said to be a drop of around 40,000 from last year. Is that a correct figure, and do you have any insight into why that number has dropped by that much?
We don't have the insight as to why the number has dropped. There could be many variables that come into play. It could be the attrition rate that happens through natural causes, through death, but the death of so many people would be known in the country. There would be few, of course, but it could be also of learners who opt for other options. Instead of going straight to the NSC, which is grade 12, they choose to go to the TVET colleges. Some would choose to go to the world of work earlier, which is something that we discourage. We would want our learners to finish grade 12. So we still have to do a study to check where these learners have gone to.
Dr. Mafu Rakometsi, thanks so much for your time on SABC News. The CEO of Umalusi joining us in studio.